By the way, you wonder why don't they? Well, Billy Meyer sees them different. First of all, of the 11 groups of aliens there are, 4 of which are benevolent, 7 of which are very evil.
Can you expound on the ones that are good or benevolent?
Well, the ones purported by Billy Meyer, the Pleiadians, Pleiadians, from the 7-star cluster, the Pleiades. That's one of the groups. There's another group from the other side of Orion, another group from about 3,500 light years out, supposedly still with us. I don't remember their name offhand, but they're a very small individual, human-looking but childlike, but very large cranium, very large heads. IQ is off the scale, and they can do no wrong. They're the angelic type. They don't fly around with little wings or anything. By angelic, I mean that they can't do wrong. They physically can't do wrong.
Inspired. Spielberg and
They weigh about 30 pounds.
E.T. movie. Not inspired.
About the fourth one?
Well, the fourth one is really 2 groups, and they're extremely tall individuals. They're predominantly ocean, deep ocean. They live in deep oceans, and they basically harvest our minerals, and then they're kind of, you can see, they're always in oceans of below 20,000 feet. They're these 2-tiered antennas found, and of course our submarines have found them years and years ago. During World War II, some submarine warfare, and encountered several at very shallow depth. They didn't know whose weapon or whatever they were.
Are the aliens our biggest threat, or is our federal government the biggest threat?
Both are our major threat at the present time. It's bad enough we have one, well, that little two.
Does Wolf County, Colorado have an underground base in that area?
Colorado has 3 underground bases, one at DIA. I believe what you mentioned, what was it, Weld?
Weld County is the biggest, one of the biggest counties in the United States.
I believe it's in the northeastern section of that county, if I remember right. I'd have to look at a map. I can identify every base on a map. I have the latitudes and longitudes of such bases. By the way, if I mention that does entail espionage. If I mention all of them, and I cannot do that to the crowd, and I want to keep on talking as much as I can. So that's one thing I promise to do, but I have to break my promise, and I'll tell you that I was wrong.
I encountered something when I was back east. I visited friends up here.
You'll have to speak.
I visited Minnesota. I was coming back and I decided to take a different route to get off of the interstates and take U.S. Highway 36 across northern Kansas. And about 20 miles from the Colorado border, there was suddenly construction. 36 was completely cut off. And detours went way around, and I did that. I just went down and got on my 70. Over that area, about, I guess, 15 minutes later, I saw strange formation clouds in perfect chrysalis. And I was convinced there's something very active. And it's usually cut off in U.S. highways.
The name of those clouds is, if I can interrupt, is altocumulus lenticulatus, or lens-shaped clouds. Almost always predominantly, there are 2 kinds of clouds. The kind, if you go up to Virginia City sometime in April or May, you'll see these clouds that come right up, roaring up to a steep mountain. You'll look at them and they'll just disappear. They'll cease to go over your shoulder. It's nothing. It's kind of, that's altocumulus lenticulatus A. And the B kind, it almost looks like a black thunderstorm-like cloud. And they always have metallic discs in the center. And if you take your camera, your eye won't probably see them. The camera will pick up metallic dots within that cloud structure, and those dots can be professionally analyzed. And you come up with the
Incidentally, if Hardy ever see those clouds more than 23 miles from mountains, the high at that point was at least 200 air miles, straight line distance from Long's Peak, which is the nearest big mountain cloud.
I had spotted such near Portland, Oregon, and took pictures, submitting it to a TV radio station, and TV and radio station. It never got on the air. I wonder why. But they're rare clouds. If you ever have a chance to take a picture of them, you should.
What causes the clouds?
Well, the natural formation, of course, is altocumulus. They're extremely high cumulus cloud formation. Of course, cumulus is a building, it's a big, kind of like a thunderhead or a thundercloud. It's air currents rushing up, and of course, with the altocumulus ones, lens-shaped or cookie-shaped clouds, you have air currents rushing up. Air currents rushing up and air currents rushing down, and what they do is they compress the clouds, and then there's air circulation, generally in a clockwise or counterclockwise measure. I studied weather when I was in high school. That was one of our curriculums.
But you've got it right there, it's the man-made one, source.
Well, yeah, I mean, the A-bomb is the A-bomb cloud is a lenticulatus.
We're downing one a day in this country. Wouldn't it seem logical that there would be more people that would be aware of debris?
No, I'll tell you why. As soon as one is downed, they're attacking certain northern tier state Air Force bases, predominantly. If you can get on those bases or stray onto those Air Force bases without getting arrested, good luck. But if one of those craft is down, they seal off the whole area, period. They being the federal government, police and whatnot, Air Force police or whatever, air base or army base or tank base or whatever you got in that area, they seal off the whole area. Anybody caught in there is shot on sight or they're immediately arrested and detained. By the way, a military base can circumvent the U.S. Constitution and Bill of Rights. An Indian reservation can do the same thing. Is this what our government, this was supposed to have been laid out by our founding fathers? I don't believe so. I think we can do better. I know we can do better. I also know that our present government's stature is so punitive, it's very reminiscent of early Nazi days with Adolf Hitler. In fact, New World Order was taken from his manifesto, so to speak, in 1933. He actually said, "We will form a new world order."
Where was the third one in Colorado? You said one was DIA, the second one was the northeastern part of Weld County.
One is down, I believe, you know where Telluride, Colorado is?
Yeah.
Okay, it's due east of Telluride by about 13 or 14 miles. And you can't miss it because as you take some of the side roads, you'll see vented air shafts coming right out of the rock. That's typical of an underground base. Or if you're traveling along by car, by jet, you'll see a truncated mountain. Remember the truncated mountain? You saw as we were curving around going to Las Vegas and the plane was banking like this. And I said, "Hey, Al, look at the deep underground military base." And the cockpit door was open. It says, "Oh God," and what they did is they did this and worked around and just as you got your camera out.
Right.
I already had a picture of it. And that was, by the way, one of the bases at S4, because it had circled around Area 51, and that was one of the bases. So I actually saw it from the air. It's been about 30,000.
How deep are they?
They can run, the deepest deep underground military base is 2.5 miles underground. The Dulce base is 2.5 miles underground. That's pretty close to 13,000 feet. 5,280 feet make a mile.
You don't have any temperature or high temperature problems, do you?
No, as a matter of fact, in certain sandstones, you actually get a lower temperature than ground surface.
Your water leaking?